and the bass keeps running, running, and 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 running, running. Everybody, everybody, let's get into it. Get stoned, get it started, get it started, get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Yeah. Keep running, running, and running, running. Come on, y'all. Let's get it. Let's get it. And y'all like it. Let's get it. And y'all like it. Let's get it. And and running, running, and running, running, and running, running, and running, running.
I don't hear anything on the field. Not during the play. Everything goes silent for me, and it's sort of a focus and a mode that you have to get into.
He returns, and here's the snap. Play action, Randall over the middle, has a man. And the passing is broken up. A tremendous hit by Jamal Adai.
We have seen some bone-jarring, bone-crushing knocks.
It's my comfort zone. I just think that it's who I am. It's my identity, and you know, people have come accustomed to seeing me with the dark shield.
Hard play actions. Here we go. First pass attempt over the middle, and the ball is intercepted by West Virginia's Jamal Adai. And on the first attempt of the afternoon, Jamal Adai picks off a pass. Adai's first interception of the season.
Good coverage call that time, Tony, and really well played by Jamal.
As a defensive back, regardless of how strong your unit is, you are the last line of defense. And, you know, a lineman can mess up and a linebacker can mess up and nobody sees it. A defensive back on one-on-one coverage messes up and it's on ESPN.
He's been a consistent player for us, and he's so smart defensively that a lot of our guys in the secondary look for him as far as guidance goes.
It's a lot of pressure that goes with the position. And then being the older guys and the guys that people sort of look up to, it definitely is a added pressure. But, you know, we're handling it well. We have a lot of young guys that take coaching, really listen to what we say. And that just makes my job easier as a leader if I can talk to a guy and say, you know, you need to be doing this on this play, and watch it on film, and they make that correction without me having to keep barking at them. And it's an easy job right now, and hopefully it'll be that way throughout the season. You can't go anywhere without an education at this day and age, but it was something that I saw my parents get some joy out of, and there's no way I could ever repay my parents for what they've done for me or anybody else who's been in my supporting cast. You know, that day I felt like I had given them back something.
I'm on the football, you know how it goes. Hard work, but it's fair. Hard work, but it's fair.
He steps up in the pocket, he fires, pass is intercepted. Here comes the Mountaineers. On the return, Jamal Adai, 35. Give him the 40.
No cockiness, a lot of confidence. I see the Big East championship coming through Morgantown. I just feel like, you know, we have a team that's prepared and people aren't looking, you know, at us as a strong force.
Set the tone! Set the tone!
I don't plan on changing that. So as far as what I expect out of this team, is nothing but winning.
Let's get it.
Linebackers are looked at, you know, just as like tough guys. They just look like the tough, mean guys. And I like to consider myself one of those guys. So I think that's pretty much, you know, what being a linebacker means, just being tough, hard-nosed, mean guys. Maybe not, you know, the best athlete, maybe not the fastest guy, the strongest guy, but just tough, you know, hard-nosed, I think, and pretty much just being physical, just coming down and hitting guys, and just, you know, being one of those guys that offenses can see and, you know they're going to get hit by.
I think he's playing with confidence now. I think that getting the opportunity to be a contributor last year and getting 4 or 5 starts that he got last year helped him, and hopefully his best football's still in front of him.
A couple years ago, it was kind of hard not playing, just on the scout team and everything. But I knew if I pushed through and kept working hard and waiting, I'd get my chance. So I wouldn't have had it any other way. I'm not regretting anything.
I think there's a special meaning for him. I think when he goes through the tunnel and there's a special feeling walking out on that field and representing the state of West Virginia for a West Virginia kid. And Jeff has been a very exemplary person for us in terms of being a state guy who's really taken advantage of his opportunities and worked hard to be a consistent performer for us.
Growing up here and watching the Mountaineers from when I was a little kid and coming to the games, the fans here are great. That's one of the best things about playing here, and it's just I just think I'm blessed to play here, and I'm glad I got the opportunity to.
Last year at the UConn game, I think that's when he finally stepped up and got a chance to be a starter, and he made a lot of big plays in some crucial situations. Knocked down a ball down on the red zone on a 4th down play, got an interception towards the latter part of the game, and did some really good things for us. And I think that since then he's taken off with the role and has been a solid contributor really ever since that.
Dropping back to throw, Sykes comes out pressure. Ball is intercepted by West Virginia. It is Jeff Nochel. Jeff Nochel has had just an absolutely fantastic game.
This year, I think we have kind of a different team. I think the biggest thing is we have a bunch of physical guys that just want to play hard and just win as a team. Nobody's worrying about I want to make this play, make that play. We just want to do our draws out there and get it done as a defense and try to win some games.
Garin Justice's story is one of perseverance. When he came to Morgantown, his new line coach, Rick Trickett, wasn't too impressed with Garin's football skills. In fact, he suggested that Garin might look to go to another school. But Justice was destined to be a Mountaineer.
Somebody tells you can't do something, the first reaction is, yeah, I can do that, And that's basically what I thought when Coach Trickett told me that.
And eventually, he proved Rick Trickett wrong.
He's not the most gifted athlete in the world, but he's a big guy. He's a smart guy. He's very, very tough. And he's learned technique, and that's made him become a pretty doggone good football player.
Hearing him say that, I mean, naturally feels good because you feel like you're wanted and things like that. But I'm still a very average player. I have a lot still to improve on and work on.
Nonetheless, Justice is an integral part of an offensive line that's strong and talented, making it easy for Mountaineer backs and receivers to grind out chunks of yardage as well as take home the credit.
You sort of have to take pride in that. I mean, in a game, it's not like you see a lot of credit or glory because you don't get to touch the ball, you don't get to score touchdowns, things like that. But you have to understand that that's who you are, that's what you do. I mean, it's a selfless job, and it takes a special type of person to do that, but at the same time, it's very rewarding. I honestly don't think there's any 5 happier people on the field when one of our tailbacks score a touchdown than 5 offensive linemen. That's our job, that's what we love to do. And if a running back scores, then more than likely it shows us that we're getting the job done. So if we're getting the job done, Coach Trickett's happy, we're happy. We're all great friends. Football, you're sort of stuck to where you're hanging out together, but honestly, if we didn't have football, we'd still probably be hanging out together if we knew each other.
Those strong bonds Garin's formed with his O-line mates no doubt are the result of his childhood. Growing up in southern West Virginia, he learned the values of a strong family and being a Mountaineer.
Both my parents are school teachers. My mother was my grade school teacher, and my dad was his principal in my high school. And more than anything, they were huge WVU fans. And I remember my dad telling me stories of when he was little, him and his dad would drive 10 hours to come to WVU before the interstate and stuff came in. So it was pretty much bred into me to be a WVU fan, whether I liked it or not.
Today, the drive may be shorter, but there are still thousands of West Virginians making that same trip to see Garin Justice and the Mountaineers play.
People come up and ask you, they're like, well, what's it like running out in tunnel? What's it like? And you're just like, you have to experience it. And I think you experience, if you experience it is one thing, but like putting all the work into it and stuff like that makes it extra sweet.
I gotta make myself better than the day before. That's my main goal.
Anthony Mims has never been one that stands out in a crowd. He's not the guy reporters flock to, and he's never been the vocal leader some strive to be.
I've always led by example. I'll be vocal when I have to be vocal, but I've always been one to lead by example.
But if you could describe him in 2 words, it would be role model.
He's just a solid person. He does well academically. He's going to graduate. He's a coach's son, so he loves football, studies film. Just everything. He's an all-around guy, and that's, if you could, have a role model for your kids to be, Anthony Mims would definitely be a great guy to, for that.
So you may be wondering, how does a guy from California get a scholarship to play football at WVU?
Hey, I was told this, and I don't know how many times. I wasn't highly recruited coming out of high school. I was sending my tapes out and sent a tape to Wisconsin. At the time, the offensive coordinator there knew Coach Almation, who was at the time defensive coordinator here, and next thing I know, a week later, I'm on a visit out here. And I was sold on West Virginia ever since then.
2 receivers out left and 1 to the right. And the sophomore quarterback play actions, and he throws with pressure on, and that pass will be caught and ruled as an interception for West Virginia.
The ball just seemed like it was up in the air forever. So it was just one of them things where the whole game just slowed down. I just saw the ball, and it was just me and the ball, realistically. And then I almost overjumped it and mistimed it a little bit. So I had just stuck my hand out there and just pulled it in.
Oh, Anthony Mims came up with the loose ball, and there it is. It's West Virginia football on the interception by Mims.
When he had the ball in his hand and stood up, I was the first one there to grab him and, give him a hug. And, he stepped up and made a big play in a big game, and I think that has, been a springboard for the rest of his career here at West Virginia.
Patterson dropping back to throw. Patterson looking, Patterson throwing, has Anthony Mims, and Mims is intercepting the football.
Doing the little things right, focus on our main goal, just going there and practice hard week in and week out, day in, day out, and on Saturday, make it happen.
J.J. Beadle off the left side. He's met there defensively by Anthony Mims, who drags him down.
He came from California, to West Virginia as a freshman. First time away from home, and he was really homesick and bought into the program, and he's a true Mountaineer, and everything that we ask him to do, he has done. It just goes back to being a solid person, a solid player, and and once he bought into the program, he's going to be a Mountaineer forever now.
It's always going to be in my heart to be a Mountaineer. This is where I came and got my education and got my shot to play college football, and I'm always going to have my heart here at West Virginia.
I think the first thing about Brandon is that he's a good person. He has a high energy. He's got great expectations for himself, for the receiving group as a whole, and he's kind of developed into that leadership role within our group. And so he's set the expectations. He's turned into a great student of the game, and he's a very unselfish player. He's willing to do whatever it takes, if it means blocking, if it means going up making the difficult catch.
Looking for Brandon Miles, who makes the catch at the 40-yard line of Syracuse.
Running the proper routes.
Here's the fade pattern in the end zone for Miles. He leaps up, and Brandon Miles makes the catch.
So he's done that, and like I said, the big thing about him is he's a team player, and he's a good person.
First, I get a lot of inspiration from my mother and my grandmother. My grandmother always told me to believe in the Lord and just let Him take over and what I'm doing and being successful in life. And basically her and my mom and my grandmother is my big influence in my life.
What's up, Mom? That's for you.
It gets me real excited just because I know I mean, of course, it's 60,000 fans out there, but it's your family out there supporting you. And no matter what, how you play, they always gonna be behind your back. Like I always know that my mom and my grandmother and my sister and all of them is always gonna be behind my back no matter what I do out there, if I mess up or something like that.
And the snap and white play actions, and he looks and he fires toward the end zone. Pass caught, touchdown to Brandon Miles.
I expect him to continue to get better. Each day is an opportunity for him to get better. He's driven to improve every day. And again, with improvement comes confidence and expecting to make the big plays.
Snap comes back to Pat White. He looks downfield. He fires over the middle. The pass is caught inside the 10 by Brandon Miles.
Well, it's been a long road. I just had to wait and be patient. I always knew I could do it, but it just come down to you just believing in yourself and just not giving up and just coming out there in the tunnel, just knowing that I just got to prove myself out there with 60,000. Because I know it was a question at one time, like people didn't think I could really do it, but I always believe in myself, because if you don't believe in yourself, then you ain't gonna do it, you know. And I always believe in myself. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Last year about this time, D. McCann was toiling in the obscurity of the second string. Then, everything changed on a cloudy afternoon in Piscataway, New Jersey. There's a flea flicker. Leonard tosses back to Hart. Hart throws, has a man downfield. The pass is broken up, and it is intercepted by D. McCann. Baker has the ball stripped, and McCann leaps on it for West Virginia. It's West Virginia football. D. McCann with a second huge defensive play of the half. He loses the football. It's a fumbled football. West Virginia gains possession. D. McCann again involved in a big play. He caused the fumble.
I remember the big hits I had. The running back, I hit him, made him fumble. The flea flicker they did, and I saw it, I ran it down. I remember all the big plays I made. I knew something good was going to happen if I got in the Gator Bowl.
Ball is deflected, intercepted by West Virginia, and the Mountaineers have the ball at the Florida State 44-yard line. There he is, D. McCann. He fires the ball toward the end zone, and that pass is going to be ruled an interception by West Virginia's D. McCann.
After last year when I came up here, I had something to prove, and I still have something to prove.
He's brought down, driven down by D. McCann. They'll lose yardage on the play. Deep downfield, has a man at Shield Wood, and he has the pass stolen away and intercepted by D. McCann.
It's a big thing to come in and be physical and cover guy and hitter and everything. So that you have some corners that don't like to hit, but I love to hit. I love to hit the biggest dude on the field. You believe it or not, I do.
And on the gun again, Hollenbach drops, looks, has again Dylan's ball, and ball is absolutely assaulted. What a hit by D. McCann. What a shot. I mean, if the police were on the field, there would be just misdemeanor and misdemeanor being issued here for assault.
That's how you got to be in football. You can't be nice. You can't be Mr. Nice Guy on the field. You just got to be mean all the time.
Last week, the Mountaineers returned to the same stadium where D announced to the world that he was ready to play some football. Before that trip, though, we asked him how he felt about going back to New Jersey.
I got a chip on my shoulder going back up there. You know, not get scored on, just catch a couple interceptions.
Is this guy psychic or what? Now he fires, and the pass deflected, intercepted by West Virginia's D. McCann. On the return, he comes over the 40-yard line. D. McCann intercepts the ball. Hart steps up in the pocket, and he heaves the ball, and the pass is intercepted by D. McCann, and again he goes down immediately. The second interception of the afternoon for D. McCann.
Everybody know D. McCann right now. Hopefully, everybody knows.
Playing the game of football is like being in a fight. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be a Rutgers, it could be at ECU, it could be a Tech. You're in a fight, and it's all about who wants it more, you or the guy in front of you.
Highly recruited as a high school senior, Ernest said no to Maryland, Boston College, and Tennessee before saying yes to West Virginia.
It's just a good environment, good coaches. I mean, they're honest. You know, they're going to work you hard, which is, you know, what I like. It's just, you know, hard-nosed, good football.
Well,
character wins. Character wins. If you recruit character, you're going to win more games than you lose. And Ernie Hunter is a primary example of a guy that's got great character, great work ethic, and just an ambition to succeed.
I can't, talk a lot. I don't like to talk a lot. I feel like, saying too much is not going to be as effective as somebody seeing you, in action.
His play on the field speaks volumes, but the real story of Ernest Hunter focuses on a very unique childhood.
Well, my parents are both from Africa. My dad is originally from Nigeria. That's where he was born, and my mother was originally from Sierra Leone. My father, he moved from Nigeria to Sierra Leone at a young age, and he lived there for the rest, most of his life until he moved to the U.S. in about 1971. Since I was a baby, I've been traveling all over the world, going back to and from Africa, Amsterdam, spent a little time in Germany. I was in Zurich for a little while. We go to all those places mostly because, my parents work for the World Bank. It's a perk that they have to be sent home. And in doing so, going home, you get to stop off at some other nice places in Europe.
With his playing days growing short, Ernest is ready to put his education and passion to work in the real world.
I always wanted to work in television, but, I didn't know all the things that were involved until I came here and did my internship with MSN. And I got an even better perspective as to what really goes on. And I liked it. I liked it a lot. Something I really feel like I want to be involved in.
On the field, Ernest Hunter is a tough guy. However, off the field, he is a fun-loving, classy young man with a laugh and a smile that overtakes his massive size and that tough guy persona. Something is different on game day this year. With the graduation of Rasheed Marshall, West Virginia found itself without a proven signal caller under center. In stepped redshirt freshman Pat White and sophomore Adam Bednarik. Where once there was a void, West Virginia has now found itself two young men to lead the offense.
It is a little unique having two starting quarterbacks. It's probably more difficult to manage the game, but we kind of have a philosophy that if you're good enough to win with, you'll play. And both those guys have proven to us in practice and in the games that they're good enough to win with.
Shotgun formation for the Mountaineers with Adam Bednarik making his Mountaineer debut as a starter. Jason Colson to his right out of the gun. Snap comes back, and here comes Bednarik. He gets away from a would-be defender. He's going to tuck it and run. He's over the 25. He is hit, spins down over the 30.
We're all together as a family, and I think that makes a big difference this year. And it's shown on the field. We're young and we don't have a lot of seniors, but we have a lot of guys that have been stepping up and making plays, and we don't have a lot of selfish guys, and that's, I think, been one of the big keys to our success this year.
Here's a new quarterback for the Mountaineers, as expected. Pat White checks in, two receivers left. Snap comes back to Pat White. He play action, going to run option, toss play. Here comes Pernell Williams up the sideline, first down.
You can't really look at it as a battle. He has a two-headed quarterback system, like you said. It's working for the team, and we both enjoy it. Before the games, we always tell each other with a tag team, let's go tag team. And it's doing good for the team.
We felt coming in that would be one of our strengths of our team, that we had a bunch of unselfish guys. They're more interested in winning and helping each other out. And before I even had a chance to sit down with Adam and Pat and tell them right before the first game, here, this is what's going on, Pat and Adam both say, Coach, we know the deal. We know we're going to share time. We're comfortable with that. Obviously, as a competitor, they want to be there the whole time, but they're so unselfish and so interested in helping the team first, it's worked out great for us.
If coaches feel, we should make a switch and see how Pat can do. It's more or less one of those things. I'll come off after one series and say, hey, we're going to go with Pat this series, and I'll say, all right. And after whatever series it is, whether Pat's it or myself is in, when we come off, Pat and I are both talking to each other, talking over about what defenses we're seeing and whatever it may be.
Me and Adam have a real good relationship, and I like to see him do good, and he likes to see me do good, because it helps the team.
From the 48 of Wofford, snap back, Pat White gonna roll to his left. Pat White's got the first down, a whole lot more. 40, 35, 30, down the sideline, 20, 15, 10, 5, end zone, touchdown, Pat White.
Pat and I get along real great, and you know, I think that helps us on the field. You know, knowing that hey, if we make a mistake or you know, if I go down and get injured or something, you have someone with experience that could come and fulfill, you know, the same thing. You know, Pat's a great guy, and he's real easygoing, and I think that helps us get along real well.
From the gun, snap back to Bednarik, play actions to Colson, fires over the middle, has a man, caught by Renaud, into the end zone, touchdown, West Virginia. The play of both quarterbacks has helped West Virginia to a 6-1 record and ownership of first in the Big East. At the start of the season, it was to be Adams' strong arm and Pat's fleet feet that were to be the 1-2 combo. Now 7 games into the season, it's evident that both signal callers are equally adept at running and passing.
Yeah, we try to tell everybody, but really the only biggest difference between both of them is one's right-handed and one's left-handed. Other than that, they both can run all the plays in our offense. They both can throw, they both can run. Pat's probably a little faster than Adam. Adam's probably a little bigger and stronger, but really for us, when we call them plays, whether Adam or Pat's in there, our same mindset takes place.
It's a good thing for us. Us both being able to run the offense, I think equally as well, is a good thing for this offense because, I mean, defenses can't say, well, when he gets in, he's going to do this, or when he gets in, he's going to do this. They have to worry about both of us equally.
Touchdown, West Virginia! Jay Henry is used to winning football games.
My senior year was our 6th state championship in a row to win. So we were definitely a powerhouse. It was more of we were expected to win, and just being around a program like that, I thought it helped a lot.
As a redshirt freshman, Henry made his mark on special teams while learning the art of linebacking from the master, Grant Wiley.
Backing up Grant, there's no shame in that. If you want to play linebacker, that's a great person to learn from. Grant Wiley, he's how to lead, how to play, you know, how to do things right, and I mean that's a great experience for anybody to have.
The education of Jay Henry continued last season at will linebacker behind Scott Jerko, and now the pupil has become the master. This season, Henry is one of the Mountaineers' leading tacklers, even though he had to work through a position change to the middle of the linebacking core.
I think it's worked out pretty good. You know, I've played all 3 linebacker positions before. You know, it's something I had to get used to, you know, just reading different keys and stuff like that. And, you know, you just play a little bit differently. But, I mean, overall, it wasn't that big of a change for me.
One reason the position change isn't a big deal, you see, Jay Henry is smart, really smart. I mean, never even getting a B ever smart.
I've always put up a lot of pressure on myself to do good, you know, whatever I'm doing. And I've never made a B in school at all. I think school comes easier to me than most people, and I have to work harder at the football part of all this. I think that's what helps me a lot is my ability to, you know, see things a little bit faster maybe and know what to expect out of certain formations, certain plays, certain players. And I mean, I've definitely been able to make up for some of the lack of athletic ability by using my head.
Jay Henry is also one tough cookie. Case in point, this year's victory over Maryland. Henry played his best game of the season, leading the team in tackles, all on a right knee he sprained early in the game.
I didn't know it was as bad as it was, and Spike taped it up. I played on it the rest of the game.
And the quarterback Hollenbach play actions, steps up, he's hit and he's dropped, sacked on the play by Jay Henry. Hollenbach takes the snap, toss play, right side, lands ball, looking for room. He's hit and he's dropped by Jay Henry in the backfield. Pressure comes, now he's going to be floated out of the pocket. Jay Henry's running after him. Hollenbach running the ball upfield. He's going to get hit, and he loses the ball. Fumbled football, picked up by West Virginia. Mountaineers on the return. Taking the ball down inside the 35 to 32, Jay Henry.
And that was unfortunate. I got hurt in the Maryland game, missed the game. So I'm just starting to get back into my knees feeling a lot better now, so hope I can continue to make some more plays.
Completing the cycle in both the spur and banded safety positions, the versatile senior safety, Mike Lorello, has established himself as a consistent leader on this Mountaineers squad.
You know, I feel like I've had a pretty good season so far. I think you know, I'm kind of being the type of senior that I really want to be this year. I've just really played the game of football. You know, I came to West Virginia to, you know, play football and get my education, and really that's just what I've been doing. I've been living it every day, and I think that, you know, I'm somewhat of a physical player. You know, I play with a lot of motion when I'm out there, and, you know, I just enjoy the game. Well, I think, you know, the type of defense we run is really a responsibility defense. A lot of the time I'm on block, so, you know, maybe there's sometimes a little more pressure to make, you know, open tackles when, you know, you're on block, so you should make the tackles, so there's a little bit more pressure in that aspect. But, you know, I don't really see any more pressure put on my position than any other position. Every position on the field is really important. You know, I think as a group, if we have success, then it's because, you know, everybody's taking care of their job and trusting everybody else on the defense to take care of theirs as well. So, you know, we have a lot of guys that are determined on the team, and you know, we have a bunch of guys that love the game of football and work hard, and that are really unselfish, and we really don't care, you know, who gets credit or, you know, who makes the play, as long as it's getting done and we're winning ball games for each other. So I really don't think that, you know, what I'm going to miss the most is actually playing the game of football, especially not practice. I mean, obviously I'm going to miss the games a lot, but I just think I'm going to miss the team.
This team player sums up his most vivid memories as a Mountaineer.
You know, there's been a lot. There's been a lot of big wins. I mean, most recently, the one that obviously sticks out is the Louisville win.
He's running, and he will be stopped short. They tackled him. The ball game is over. The West Virginia University Mountaineers have rallied to defeat the Louisville Cardinals.
You know, it just says a lot about the character of this team to come back from a, you know, deficit like that. And you know, I just remember after the game, that last play, and you know, Wicks made the tackle, and the game was over. And it just made me really proud to be a part of this team.
Preceding his team spirit is a strong sense of family pride.
You know, I ran straight over to where my family sits, and I grabbed my sister up out of the stands, and she came down with me and gave me a big hug and everything. She came on the field with me, so that just meant a lot to me that she was there. And, you know, it means as much to her as it does to me. And, you know, I was just happy that she was there and she could come on the field and celebrate with us. You know, it just feels good that you know, we've been able to put together some pretty good games and get some pretty big wins this year.
Smart, tough, blue-collar kind of guy.
Those are three adjectives that Rick Trickett uses to describe junior center Dan Moses. All apply, but there are others that work as well. Unselfish. Moses was a potential All-American at guard when he was asked to move to center.
I was just really, really nervous. But, you know, you're just trying to do the best for the team, and that's kind of sorts. But the thing, you know, that's most interesting about the center position is, you know, I never snapped a ball before in my life, you know, before last summer. And also I'm left-handed also, so that's something also awkward, you know, most of the centers are right-handed, and that kind of creates, I guess, a confusion somewhat for the quarterbacks is what they say. But, I mean, I guess they adapted to it also, and I am doing pretty good at it, so that's all that matters.
I just knew going down the road the teams we were going to play, we're seeing a lot of 8-man fronts, a lot of guards are being covered, and I had to have an athletic kind of guy that can get over and reach those three techniques. But what we do.
You're making the calls, you know, you're making your block, making calls for other people, and you know, you have a young guy playing next to you at left guard, you have to make calls for him.
And I'm not so sure that, I really in my heart believe that's where he belongs. I think it'll be best for his future because I think he has a chance at the next level at that center.
Another adjective, experienced. Beginning with his redshirt freshman year, Moses has been a starter. When Quincy Wilson made college football's Play of the Year, Dan Moses was there. When K.J. Harris broke the WVU single-game rushing record, Dan Moses was there. And earlier this season, when Steve Slayton scored 6 touchdowns against Louisville, you guessed it, Dan Moses was there.
We take a lot of pride in this offensive line. You know, just having a success at running back, you know, means we have success as linemen. There's no group on this team that's closer than offensive linemen. Because, you know, when one guy starts going out of whack on the offensive line, it's going to kill the whole offensive line. We get punished as a whole also. So, you know, whenever we have the success that we do at running back, it also means success for us as an offensive lineman.
Perhaps the adjective Moses likes best, he's a family guy.
They mean the world to me. You know, that's one of the reasons I forgot why I committed here was, you know, to stay close to my mom. Her and my dad are separated, you know, but they have the best interest for me all the time.
My loving family right here. Yeah, it's great.
I have one sister. She's always been there. She's like a second mom to me, more like it. And the same with my dad. You know, whenever he has to get a hold of me or I need something, it's always good to have him with me.
You know, a lot of kids are playing football because they like football. I don't know if Dan Moses could live without football.
You have to be one of those people, you know, that just plays 110% all the time. So when you're a leader, you have to do everything to the top-notch thing, whether it be on the football field or off the football field also.
Chef is one of my favorites. He's an old hillbilly from Kentucky. He's a tough kid, tough guy.
I'm an aggressive player. I look at somebody as almost like I'm getting ready to get in a street fight with him. Me and him are going to hit each other. Now it's up to me to hit him harder than he can hit me. And we're going to see who wins. Whoever's standing up at the end of this play is the winner. I'm better when I take the fight to him, not let him bring the fight to me.
He was on defense and wasn't playing much, and I told Coach in the meeting, I said, "Won't you give me old Sheffy?" So we moved him over to guard, and it's been a good move for him. I think he's one of the best guards in the Big East right now.
Defensive mindsets are more aggressive players. If you talk to them, you know, they're a lot more aggressive. And he brought me over, and that's probably a lot of what I bring to the side of the ball is an aggressive, more of a relentless attitude towards football.
But that aggressive attitude does not follow him off the football field. Whenever he can, Jeremy heads to the quiet and solitude of the great outdoors.
I really enjoy it. It's my stress relief. It takes my mind away. Like if I'm having a rough week of practice and we have like, say Friday off, we go out in the woods and I'm hanging out, it's just, I'm in a different world. Sometimes it's good to get away from people, just to relax, get football off your mind. As much as football, I spend so many hours here a week that on my day off, why not get away? Why not just take your mind off of it and come back refreshed and renewed and, you know, just feel, it's like I get this whole new energy about me when I come back.
Not the stuff you normally hear from a 6'3", 300-pound offensive lineman, huh? Well, Jeremy Sheffy is full of surprises.
You know, Sheffy was a ballet dancer in high school. Went down to recruit him, and I get down there and the coach is, I said, "Well, tell me about this guy," and he's telling me about him, and then he said, "But Coach, there's one thing I got to tell you," and he said, "The kid is a ballet dancer."
Yeah, he came to my house, saw the pictures on the wall.
So I finally have to ask him, I said, "Tell me about this ballet," you know. He starts laughing. He said, "Well, there's two good-looking girls that I really wanted to date, and they're both on the dance team. The only way I could get close to them was to join." I said, "All right, you got a scholarship, man. He's my kind of guy."
Everybody laughs about it, but I'll tell you what, I got more girlfriends out of ballet than guys slapping each other on the butt on the field. It showed up on the football field a lot. It helped me with my footwork, it helped me with my agility, my flexibility, and with both of those comes speed. And it also kept me in shape in the off-season.
He's got great balance, he's got great feet, and I mean, it's helped him, you know. Too bad you can't get that square dancing, huh?
He's been described as a runaway beer truck with no parking brake, and he'd probably get no argument from the many opposing defenders left in his wake. The bruising style of sophomore running back Owen Schmidt has added a new dimension to this year's Mountaineer offense. The fullback possesses an athletic ability rare in a player his size and gives West Virginia a dangerous running and passing threat. But while it's clear now what a talent Schmidt is, just a couple of years ago, he was a football orphan who literally landed on West Virginia's doorstep. Coming out of high school, Schmidt was known as a tweener or hybrid back. Too big to play halfback, too small to play fullback. Recruiters weren't exactly beating down his door, nor did Schmidt make it easy for them.
Most college schools don't really look for a big running back. And plus, you gotta, almost sell yourself to these colleges. I mean, you can always say like, yeah, I'm this big, this fast, but unless like the college really sees you, that's when they'll, really start putting interest and stuff like that into you. And I didn't really know. It happened for the best, though. I mean, River Falls is fun.
That's University of Wisconsin River Falls, a Division III school where Schmidt rushed for over 1,000 yards in just 9 games. Flush with confidence, Schmidt was certain he could play at the Division I level. He started researching programs he thought could use his talents.
I just, kind of like scoped out places on the internet, looked for fullbacks and years. It was kind of a choice between Maryland and here, and the Maryland coach said I should probably just stay at River Falls, and I didn't really like that, so I said, okay, I guess West Virginia, that's meant to be. So me and my mom drove up here, gave him a film to Donnie Young, and rest is history.
Schmidt's persistence paid off, earning a spot on the scout team and praise from coaches and teammates.
He every day went down there and played hard, and the defensive guys were saying, wow, this is a dude, he's hard to hit. He did stuff every day that made you start realizing, boy, he's a special guy.
After the 2004 season, Owen knew he'd have to make an impression the following spring, and he did not disappoint.
It was a day-by-day deal, where the first day you said, boy, this boy's physical. This boy can block his butt off. And all of a sudden you give him the ball. And then you see him running, and you see him not just running over people, but he had the speed and agility to do some stuff. And then you start throwing balls to him, and he can catch the ball.
I felt like I really had to, sell my soul out for the team so I could just even get a look. I'd constantly trying to break my lips from the previous weeks to get stronger in practice and stuff. I was really trying to just kind of show them that I can actually, somewhat compete with these guys.
Snap, handoff, fullback, Owen Schmidt plunges the pile ahead. He's into the end zone. It's a West Virginia touchdown.
This year, Schmidt has not only competed, but he's excelled, displaying a knack for making the big plays at the most crucial time. A warrior who wears his heart on his sleeve. It's hard to believe that not long ago, no one wanted Owen Schmidt. But he and the Mountaineers took a chance on each other, and both are glad they did.
I'm just, happy to be here and happy that all the guys are having fun and, coaches are happy now and fans, and we're going to BCS, so there's not much more you can really wish for there. I'm happy that, I was here at a place where, people cared.
We knew we were going to need some help from young guys coming this year. We lost so many veterans from last year. We knew the opportunity was going to be there for young guys, and we just didn't know how well they'd play, and they've played probably above our expectations.
Ryan Stanchak, left guard, redshirt freshman.
Pat White, quarterback, redshirt freshman.
Steven Slayton, running back, true freshman.
Stanchak is an athlete at offensive line. I guess that's what Trickett looks for. He wants the athlete, very athletic offensive lineman. Stanchak is a different breed.
I think he just bought into Coach Trickett's ways, and then he's just doing a good job and giving 100% every time. So, he earned it.
He's a tough guy, a guy that's real competitive, and he's still learning. He's still working on his technique. But Coach Trickett's brought him along pretty quickly. And I think football is really important to him. And I think that's been the key to his success so far.
It's awesome to have Steve back there because at any time he can take it the distance, and he works hard, and just he's got a great attitude, and he's going to give you everything he has.
He's a fast guy, he's a humble guy, and he's a guy that came in and worked very hard. And you could tell by the beginning of camp that this guy could be something special. Now, how quickly he was going to learn the system, we didn't know. And he's learning every week. We think his best football is still way out in front of him.
After a couple of days out there on the field practicing with him, seeing the things he could do.
Touchdown, Super Steve Slayton.
Game time.
represents 504.
Nah, 251, bro. Get it right.
He's looks can be deceiving. He's a real short guy.
Yes, sir.
Pat, you have to block, it seems like 16 seconds sometimes because you never know what Pat's going to do. He's so elusive.
Yep.
Well, he's improved by leaps and bounds just over the past several months, and he's played like he's played several years in our system, and that's why I was so confident about his ability to get things done on our offense.
I'll never let any of this stuff go to my head. I'm doing it because I love it. And it's something I've been doing since the age of 4, and I have a passion for it. Never get the wrong idea about me. I'm not a stuck-up guy.
He's in. It's a touchdown of 77-yard runs. One of the most magnificent runs you will ever see.
It's Pat White. They call him the boy wonder.
That's the bullet. It's the bullet.
Boy wonder. Fastest man on the planet.
He got a bullet for arm and bullet for legs.
Comes pressure, quick dump pass, caught, deflected, and it is taken out of the air by one of the linemen. That's Ryan Stanchek.
I think we're the hardest working team in the nation. Nobody outworks us.
And they're running after him. Slayton trying to make up ground, gets a big block. He's to the 25 to the 20. A great block thrown to key that play by guess who? Pat White.
I've enjoyed the season, and everybody enjoys what they're doing, so it makes it a lot more fun.
I think this is a great team. We got a lot of young guys. I think we all get along well, so I think that's what's helping us out.
Just the way, this team's come together, and I've never been on a team this close, and, being a freshman and coming in, last year as a true freshman, you don't know what to expect, and then just as close as this team is, it's amazing. You could definitely tell everyone here cares, and everyone's here for each other.
There's really no room for error back where those guys play.
Those guys are Mike Lorello and Jamal Adai, essential linchpins to a Mountaineer defense that has silenced the doubters and emerged as one of the best in the country.
They bring a great sense of leadership, and they've been a great influence both on and off the field, I think, for our younger players.
We're doing it!
If people do look to Jamal or I as leaders of the defense or anything like that, it really does make our job easier because, everybody on the defense is a leader too in their own right, and they all take care of their job.
I think we work well as a unit, and we've got guys that make plays when me and Mike are down. We also have guys that, me and Mike may have to pick up and get them going the right way, but I think that as a whole, we're just a unit, and I think we've been working pretty well together this year.
And to have the kind of experience that we have with those guys, that's really been invaluable, and I think been a key part of our success on defense is those guys' game experience and what they've brought to the table and what they've done with because we've played a lot of kids really throughout the year, and the help that they've given the young kids has really been a tremendous asset for us defensively.
I know how much that guys and the people around you can help you and mold you, and guys have done it in the past for me, and I figured I could do the same.
Jamal and Mike have grown up together over the last 4 seasons, pushing each other to become a hard-working, hard-hitting tandem.
Well, the relationship between me and Mike is a funny one. It's kind of like Starsky and Hutch. Mike is a great athlete and a great player, as you know, and you feed off of his energy. But when you see a guy who comes to work every day like Mike does, it only makes your job easier to get up and get out of bed and do the same thing.
He's a very tough, physical player, and I think Mike is a perfectionist in that his success is very, very important to him.
Well, I just think, ever since I got here, Jamal has just kind of been an inspiration for me. He was the type of person that was going to do what it takes to be good and be great.
The biggest asset that he brings to the defense is that he's a physical player, and the kids look at him to deliver the hits and to make a lot of plays in the alley for us.
If he's going to be out there, hitting people, I'm going to be right there next to him doing the same thing. I think that he kind of knows that about me. That it's just the way it is. It's the way we play.
Thanks, Laura. You may know that Morgantown, West Virginia is home of the Mountaineers, but did you also know that Morgantown has made the transition from a quaint college town to one of the fastest growing cities in West Virginia?
Morgantown has been named, or is the #1 growing city in the state of West Virginia for the past 4 years. WVU has made a significant investment in the city of Morgantown through new buildings, the Student Recreation Center, the new Life Sciences Center. Those sorts of things bring an economic increase to our budget, which then allows us to invest in infrastructure and other things like the rail trail, which then leads to the quality of life. And that's what it's all about, that people enjoy living in your city.
The growth has been phenomenal, and it's been growth all across the spectrum. WVU has grown dramatically, both in its enrollment and its research enterprise. The private sector has grown very well. The public sector has been very well managed here, and the nonprofit sector here is very robust and very strong. Those are the 4 keys I see to the growth.
What Morgantown has, obviously, is a critical mass of industry, business, retirement communities, recreation, and this great flagship university. West Virginia University clearly serves as an economic engine for this region. There is tremendous spending in the area generated by the growth of enrollment in recent years, by the doubling of the research activity here in Morgantown, and by our substantial construction campaign over the past decade. This activity will continue in the future, and so for the foreseeable future, it looks like there will continue to be growth in the region as a result, in part, of West Virginia University's activity.
I think that the future is really so much based on talent and keeping talent. And this talent that comes in and out of this town is wonderful. We have a lot of people who are mainstays who've been here for a long time, but then every year the talent pool here is refreshed by the new folks that come here to go to school. And I think we'll retain more of those folks here for their careers, because companies will build around where talent wants to live. And this is a technologically flat world, meaning you can do anything literally from anywhere. And I would say in that world, place becomes paramount. If you can do it from anywhere, people will do it where they want to be. And I think for all the reasons we've talked about, Morgantown, West Virginia is a place to be.